Imagine a city that feels like a deliberate collision. You've got this ancient history smashed right up against a gritty, almost chaotic modern reality.
Right.
You have these calm, fjord-like inlets. I mean, nature at its most serene, and then just a few miles away, a football stadium that just roars.
It really is a place of, well, intense contrasts. You can't just passively visit this city. It sort of demands a reaction from you.
Exactly. And it's France's oldest city, founded way back in 600 BC. Yet if you go there expecting, the polished boulevards of Paris,
Or those sleepy, lavender-scented villages of Provence.
you are going to be in for a massive shock. It is loud, it's colorful, and it just refuses to be anything other than itself.
The city that doesn't care if you like it, which I think is exactly why so many people fall in love with it.
Welcome to the audio travel guide. Today, we are heading to the south of France. But maybe put away your preconceptions about the French Riviera, because we are dedicating this entire guide to Marseille.
And we really need to, we're not just going to list monuments today. We need to get into the soul of France's second largest city. It's complex, it's a port city, and that defines everything about it.
So let's get right into that vibe, because I kept thinking about the real Provence versus the postcard-Provence. People think of pétanque players and quiet squares.
In Marseille, well, it just defies those sleepy cliches. It's a bustling metropolis. We're talking about 1 million inhabitants. It's huge, sprawling between the hills and the sea.
And it all goes back to the beginning, right? You mentioned 600 BC.
Exactly. The Phaeacians from Greece. That makes it 2,600 years old. And it has always been a major port, always looking outward across the sea.
Which has created this incredible population mix.
That's the key. It's the most defining characteristic of the city. You have these massive communities of Italian and Spanish immigrants, North African communities. It's not recent. It's just in the city's DNA.
It gives it a realness. That's the word I keep seeing.
That's the perfect word. It's not a museum. It's colorful, it's loud, and it's vibrant. And geographically, you can almost picture it as a kind of amphitheater looking out of the sea.
Everything flows down to the water.
Exactly.
So if everything flows to the water, that's where we should start our tour. Le Vieux-Port, the old port. It looks like the center of gravity for the whole city.
Oh, it is. It's the beating heart. This is literally where the Greeks landed 26 centuries ago.
Wow.
And today, it's where you go to feel the pulse of Marseille. You've got the daily fish market where fishermen are selling their catch by auction right off the boats. It's not sanitary or packaged.
Trail.
It's visceral. And I've heard it's the best place for sunsets.
Unbeatable. The light there is just magic. But what's interesting is that just a few steps away from this big open port, you can step into Le Panier. The basket, the pictures of this area look like a completely different world.
It feels like a village within the city. Le Panier is the oldest part of town, right on a hill next to the port. You've got these narrow, winding streets, colorful old buildings, laundry hanging from the windows, the classic Marseille image.
And it used to be quite a rough area, didn't it?
It was. Historically, it was the first stop for sailors and immigrants, so it was poor and dense. Now, it's gentrifying a little bit. It's full of artisans and little shops.
And right in the middle of it all is this massive, beautiful building, the Vieille Charité.
Yes, it's such a contrast. This calm, elegant 17th century building that was originally a poorhouse. Now it hosts museums. It's like a moment of architectural silence in a very noisy neighborhood.
So if Le Panier is the village, what about the neighborhood described as Marseille Belly?
Noailles. It sounds intense.
Intense is the right word. If Le Panier is the historic village, Noailles is the bazaar. You step into it and it feels like you've crossed the Mediterranean.
Like a souk in Algeria or something. That's the common comparison. It's a total sensory overload. You have spices piled high in sacks, Arabic and Indo-Chinese shops, the smells of cumin and mint. It's fascinating, but it can be overwhelming.
Right. It's raw energy.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's pivot. What if I'm looking for something less chaotic, maybe a bit more hipster?
Then you head up the hill to Cours Julien La Plaine. This is the artist's district.
I've seen pictures of the stairs leading up to it. They're covered in art.
Everything there is covered in street art. High-quality murals everywhere. This is the trendy alternative district. Independent bookstores, fountains, great nightlife.
And what about markets?
Of course. There's a great farmer's market on Wednesday mornings, very organic, and then the bigger plain market on Thursdays and Saturdays with a bit of everything.
Okay, so we've got the port, the old town, the bazaar, and the hipster district. But Marseille is a seaside city. Where do we go to actually see the sea?
You take the Corniche, It's a long road and walkway that hugs the coast. It's like the city's balcony. And tucked away along it is one of my absolute favorite spots, Vallon des Auffes.
I was looking at this online. It looks like it's hiding under a bridge.
That is exactly what it is. A tiny, traditional fishing port hidden under a massive stone viaduct. You have these traditional fishing boats. They're called pointes gobbing in the water. It feels like a movie set.
So picturesque. And there's one more district, L'Estaque, that seems important for art lovers.
L'Estaque is vital. It's a northern fishing port, but it's famous for its connection to the painter Cézanne. He was drawn by the light and the geometry, the contrast between the factory chimneys and the blue sea. It's where Cubism arguably began.
It's amazing how all these areas are so distinct. It really does feel like a collection of different villages.
That's the perfect way to describe it. A patchwork.
So we've got the lay of the land. Now, what do you actually do there? The big experiences. And we have to start with the icon that watches over the whole city.
The Good Mother. Notre-Dame de la Garde. You literally cannot miss it. It's on the highest natural point.
And the architecture is so striking, not your typical French cathedral.
No, it's Roman Byzantine. So you have striped colored stones, gold leaf, incredible mosaics. But the most moving part is what's inside.
The boats, right. The models hanging from the ceiling.
Yes. The whole interior's filled with them. They're offerings. Fishermen would leave them to have their vessels blessed or to give thanks for surviving a storm. You look up and you just feel the city's relationship with the sea.
And the view from outside must be incredible.
The best in the city. You see everything. All the red roofs, the hills, the islands. And speaking of islands, you can see the Château from there.
Which brings us to our next highlight. A fortress-turned-prison on an island. Famous because of a book.
Alexandre Dumas, the Count of Monte Cristo. It's where the hero Edmond Dantes was imprisoned.
So, is it worth the trip, or is it a tourist trap?
Oh, it's worth it. You take a boat from the old port. The island itself is so stark and you can see the cells. It really gives you a sense of isolation. But a quick practical tip.
Let me guess. Book ahead.
Book ahead. The boats get really full. And if the famous Mistral wind is blowing too hard, the boats won't even run.
Good to know. Okay, for something more natural, everyone talks about the Calanques, these miniature fjords.
They are spectacular. Just imagine these sheer white limestone cliffs plunging straight down into turquoise water. It's this rugged, dramatic landscape right next to the city.
And the best way to see them is hiking.
Hiking is the best way, for sure. You can start from the university campus at Lumini. Or you can take boat tours. But there is a critical warning we have to give here.
The fire risk.
Exactly. In summer, usually from June to September, access by foot is strictly regulated. On hot, windy days, the entire park is just closed to prevent fires.
You have to check online before you go.
You absolutely have to.
Okay, let's jump back to the city, to something much more modern. The MuCEM. It looks like a giant cube of lace.
It's a stunning piece of architecture. That lace is actually concrete, designed to filter the light. And the best part is how it's connected to the old fort.
The footbridge. Yeah.
That's the genius of it. You walk on this high footbridge from this ultra-modern building straight into the historic Fort Saint-Jean. You're suspended over the water, walking from the 21st century to the 17th.
Amazing. And speaking of architecture, we have to talk about La Maison du Fata, the House of the Foolish.
Yes, that's what the locals called Le Corbusier's Unité d'habitation. They thought it was crazy. It's basically a city inside a building.
A vertical city.
A vertical city. A hotel, shops, a school, and a roof terrace with these breathtaking views. It's a UNESCO site now. The foolish were right.
From high culture to, well, the real religion of Marseille.
Football.
The Stade Vélodrome.
You just can't understand the city without understanding Olympique de Marseille, or OM. The passion is just. It's fanatical. The stadium is massive, and if you can get a ticket to a match, you have to go.
Okay, all this exploring is going to make you hungry. Let's talk food. We have to start with the big one. Bouillabaisse. Why is this soup so expensive?
So this is the thing. It's not just a fish soup. It's a serious ritual. If you see a cheap version, like for 20 euros, just run away. That's a tourist trap.
Because of the fish.
A real one requires a huge amount of specific, fresh rockfish.
Yeah.
And it's a two-part meal. First, they bring you the broth, which you eat with croutons, and a garlic saffron sauce called rouille.
Okay.
Then, after you finish the soup, they bring out all the fish that were cooked in it, filleted right at your table. It's a feast. It takes hours.
What about something quicker? I was surprised to see pizza on the list.
Yes. Pizza is central to Marseille cuisine. Remember all those Italian immigrants? They brought the tradition with them. You'll find pizza trucks everywhere, and they are seriously good.
And for something sweet.
You have to try Navettes. They're these dry biscuits shaped like little boats.
Of course they are.
They're flavored with orange blossom. There's a bakery, the Four de Navette, that's been making them for over 200 years.
And to drink, it has to be pasties.
Yeah, it has to be. The anise-flavored aperitif. You sit on a terrace, you add water until it turns cloudy white, and you just watch the world go by. That is the quintessential Marseille moment.
Okay, practical stuff. How do you get around this chaotic city?
Rule number 1, and I cannot stress this enough, do not drive.
Really? That bad?
It's assertive, the streets are narrow, parking is impossible, you will spend your whole holiday stressed out. Just don't do it.
So public transport is the way to go.
Yes. The RTM network is good. 2 metro lines, trams, buses. It gets you where you need to go. And there's the charming little ferry boat that crosses the old port. It's the shortest commercial boat ride in Europe.
And walking.
The center is very walkable, but remember the geography. It is hilly. You will be walking up and down stairs constantly. It's a workout.
And for arrival, most people come by train to Gare Saint-Charles.
Right, which is beautiful. On top of a hill with this massive staircase leading down into the city. A stunning view. But if you have a heavy suitcase, do not try to walk down those stairs. Find the escalator or walk to the left. Save your knees.
Good tip. Now we have to talk about safety. Marseille has a reputation. What's the reality for a visitor?
The reality is that the city has improved so much. The center and the tourist areas are generally safe.
Yeah.
But, it is a big city and it has poor areas.
So standard big city rules apply.
Exactly. Watch out for pickpockets on the metro. Don't leave your phone on the cafe table. Basic stuff.
And are there no-go zones?
The northern neighborhoods, the Quartiers Nord, have their problems. But honestly, there is absolutely no reason for a tourist to go there. You stick to the areas we've talked about, and you'll be fine.
Last question. Best time to visit?
I'd say the shoulder seasons. May, June, September, October. Summer is vibrant, but it gets very hot, crowded, and the Calanques might be closed.
Right.
In the shoulder seasons, the weather is beautiful. You can swim, you can hike, and the city is just a little more breathable.
So to sum it all up, Marseille isn't really the easy option, is it?
No, it's not the easy Provence. It requires a bit of effort from you. You have to accept the noise and the grit to earn the beauty. But the payoff is huge. It has more character than some entire cities.
It sounds like a place that really stays with you.
It absolutely does. It's a city with a pulse.
Well, I think that covers our guide to the oldest city in France. Hopefully this helps you navigate the chaos and find all the incredible gems.
And remember, you can combine this guide with our other episodes on the French Riviera or our country overview to get an even broader picture of southern France.
Definitely check those out for the full context. This has been the Audio Travel Guide.